back to doing an extensive video, as a matter of fact. This is based on Alyssa Trahan's video, her most recent video about dark versus evil, the dark side versus evil. She made a couple of good points. She made some things that I think it's timely to actually talk about right now. A lot of energy in Pisces and the Pisces. So she starts off by saying, let me get into it. She starts off by saying the dark and light definition is like really false, and I have to agree with her on that, because you automatically get this idea that because someone is born dark, they're really that way, that they're a bad person, and the people of the light are like these great people. And she made another point that it's totally false. I'm going to get into the details right now, but she made another point that says it's actually it could be that people try to like exploit, probably wasn't the exact word that she used, or like people try to bring out this darkness from this character. So pretty much that dark people are preyed upon, and it could be by people who are prominent figures in their life, or whatever the case may be, such as parents, relatives, things of that nature, who you wouldn't suspect of being predators, right? That also is a great point, and I want to extend on that by saying that I want to state that personally, this is what I believe. I believe everyone has evil within, right? And I think people of the dark are more skilled, and it's like embedded in them to refrain from actually expressing that evil, because I think there's a difference between evil and evil doers, right? And an evil doer goes along the lines of something that she expressed, that trying to harm people. That's what an evil doer does. And I think anyone who forces someone to do something against their consent falls along the lines of an evil doer. And also things that cause physical harm intentionally, and also without someone's consent. Some people like pain, and you can see, or you can identify, I'm pretty sure, in your everyday experiences, right? Or at least observe that people do this a lot. And these people can have prominent positions within society, and they can do it with the light being shed on them. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because, these people of the light being seen as great figures, when in all actuality, it can be the exact opposite. And I'm going to make some analogies now so you can understand exactly what I'm saying. Like, let's say we're on a construction site, right? Let's say we both work construction, and you're over there, you're lifting center blocks and stuff, you're doing your thing with building the building, and I'm over there smoking weed, right? So you turn around, you look at me, you like, what you doing over there smoking weed? You might talk to your buddies and stuff like, oh, look at this dude over here, he's smoking weed and stuff. Like, we over here putting in work, right? We all getting paid the same. Who does he think he is, right? And me personally, I get that, okay? I think you have a valid point right there, right? But let's say, and for the reason why I'm using this as a reference is because I think like a construction worker would be considered a light worker, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let's say that same guys, they're doing construction work, right? They know me though. Me, I'm home doing YouTube videos, and they might be talking amongst a group of their friends, and then my name might come up, and they say, "Oh, yo, what's up with Chauncey?" And they're like, "Oh, he's at home doing YouTube videos." You know what I'm saying? And they're like, "Oh, he don't work. Like, this is what they'll say, right? And, my friend, if he's my friend, he might say, "No, he's home doing YouTube videos." They're like, "Oh, but does he work? He's not working." You understand what I'm talking about? So already they're having this negative notion that what I'm doing is not real work. You understand what I'm talking about? And they may even compare pay, or whatever the case may be, and whatever they can do to dissect or try to tear down whatever it is that I'm actually shining bright for. And I'm a dark person, flat out, you know what I mean? But I say that to say this, it's like, they will express that to the point, and or even trying to hurt me. And as a dark person, like, things like that does not matter to me. But I think also that people who work the light, like, this is another analogy that I want to say about light workers, right? Light workers, it's like the human beings, right? We're human. So we're light beings automatically because of the matter. We travel at the speed of light, right? When you have a baby comes into the world, they travel here. it takes 9 months to form, and then they're here, they materialize, and then they keep growing, they advance into whatever it is they're becoming, right? Now, in some cases, they can decline. They can grow to a certain level and decline, the human condition, right? Now, wouldn't that be considered degradation, or something that would be thought of as dark? You understand what I'm saying? However, if they work and they work real hard and they get sick while they're working, they're still looked at as heroes in the light in society, right? He said, oh, he worked till his dying breath, right? He worked so hard, Social Security, they took all the Social Security, whatever the case may be, he couldn't afford it, couldn't afford the nursery home, but he was one great worker, right? I don't mean to be sarcastic, right? I really need to make my point here, though, right? They will still be seen as a light worker when you have people who may be like professing their way through lives and doing things that are not so laborious, and they may see that person as dark. But in all actuality, is that truly bad, right? Let me go further. Let's use this term right here, procrastination, right? Dark people are masters of procrastination. And this term is loosely used in everyday society, right? With a negative notion attached to it that states, okay, procrastination means you're lazy. That means you're sloth, right? And people of the dark, we understand that's because people who consider the light people move around so fast. It's like a fascist thing. I don't want to make this political, right? But again, let me not do that. But it's like, you want to have some type of excuse for coming at that individual who is not as laborious as you. So what you'll do is you'll compare what they do compared to your labor or compared to your moving around, and say that, look at me go. Everybody sees me. I'm up this time of the day and I'm down at this time of night and I'm back up to do it again tomorrow. But look at him over there. He gets to do what he wants, so he lays around and he's on his phone all day, exchanging emails and stuff like that. How does he go through life like that? How does she go through life like that, right? So what I've learned is that light workers are more like people who look outside themselves until the point of they identify their negative outlook on other people, pretty much looking outside themselves, like I said, right? So what happens here is they point the finger, like I said, and then they say, oh, that person is procrastinating all the time. He won't ever get anything done. They won't ever do nothing, right? And dark people are looking at it like this. Like, look, okay, go ahead, run around, do whatever you want to do, right? Because we understand that you will probably experience more headaches, more heartache, and more trouble, and more trauma, and more disharmony than we would, because you're basing your life on what people see, how people see you, what their perception of you is. So as long as you're moving around and being seen like you're doing something, that makes you feel good. But what we identify is you are procrastinating. See, this is what people who procrastinate do. We figure out that you procrastinate, like you may do so much in short of a time that is unproductive. And then you've done that already, so now you're like, oh, let me go, let me do it again, and you just keep going, And don't get me wrong, right? Speed is rewarded with reward. Like, take your traditional boss. I'm gonna say traditional boss, right? They say, oh, look, I need this done. Can you do this for me, or whatever the case may be? You say, yeah, I'm gonna do it right now. The quicker you get it done, your boss gets happy. You're like, oh, look at him go, right? Well, here goes your bonus, and that's how the bonus culture started, right? So what happened with the bonus culture, I've done some research on this, by the way, so I'm not just blowing smoke up. What happened with the bonus culture is people started breaking laws within corporate structures for those bonuses. So you had one guy who, and the boss would be smart and be like, okay, well, I gotta let you go now because, you did that. But take the bonus though. Here goes the severance package too, But, that was real criminal, so you gotta go, right? But sometimes, in some cases, it's enough money to last them a lifetime, or at least long enough to say, well, you're well experienced now and you can start your own business if you wanted to and put somebody else as the head of the company. I'm not trying to give you any bad ideas either. I'm just making an example, right? So what happens here is, all factions and institutions and people do not operate that way. we dark people, for the most part, understand harmony better. And, for the most part, when people try to provoke a dark person to bring that animation out of them that's not naturally there, first of all, they don't really know what they're asking for. They have no idea what type of trouble that can bring them, and it's that provoking energy is what is, I relate to an evil doer. Like, you're doing evil because you're trying to get someone to do something that most of the times is not their natural thing to do. Like, they're not supposed to be doing that. And the more I learn astrology, the more that I notice it's fact. So another example is like, I've worked with a few people, I hire people here and there, and I tell them, for the most part, when I hire a subcontractor, for example, I say, well, listen, here goes the situation, here goes the job, you can do it like this, that, and the third. And, sometimes they may be like, well, how long do I have to get it done? I'll be like, take your time. When it's ready, it's ready. Update me and stuff like that. However, if it's not there, it's not there. I'm not going to rush you. You know what I mean? And that has to do with well-being, because if I was to be rushing them, that means I would be trying to pry something out of them that is not ready yet. It's premature, and that's where procrastination comes. It's a premature done thing. So, I say that to say this. I don't want to also make this like light workers are not great people as well, and a way that I can explain this even better is like the film industry, right? Take the film industry, for example, how, sometimes you can catch people on YouTube as well. You can catch people talking about how certain movies hint to this and hint to that and program people to this, that, and the third. And, to the point that they want to protest it or boycott it or spread jargon about it. And the thing is this, you don't have to watch it. That's number one, right? Number two, people who do film and write books and write screenplays and stuff like that, that's what they were born to do. And let me tell you, like, Netflix is not one of the biggest companies in the world by coincidence. YouTube is not so huge by coincidence. People are actually entertained by coming here to see us. People are entertained by logging into their apps and watching these movies, watching these people on screen. A lot of learning, a lot of education is put into these screenplays. The same thing that you're saying that is evil or bad or dark is the same thing that's really actually enlightening people on things that they may not have known about until they took a look at this film. You understand what I'm talking about? And I'm bouncing around, but she also talked about, what was that? The third eye, right? So talked about the third eye, right? And with the third eye, she made some references about things being dark within the third eye that you can't really see. I, for one, am actually capable of using the third eye. I'm able to see some things, see some things. I'm not going to detail that right now. I think it would definitely have to take more time before I can actually talk about things like that, or maybe some demand to talk about things like that. I'm just not ready yet. But for the most part, that's another thing that's associated with dark people, is that they can actually see things in their sleep when their eyes are closed, when it's dark, So when things are visible in the light, a lot of the times we see things as not correct or abnormal to us. The way that this balances itself out, because you also spoke about balance, the dark and the light. You have your architects, who I would say is more like a dark person, a person that's born dark, who has this vision that can't be seen yet, or maybe a vision that they had from a dream or a daydream and says, oh, I would love to design that, I would love to see that, it's ideal, right? It's an idea. So they'll draw. And people who are good with their hands, people who got Mars in certain areas and stuff like that, will look at that and say, I want to build that. Like, let me get my hands on some concrete mixer. Like, let me get my hand on a welding gun or something like that. Like, there are people out there who are born to do these things as well. So when they link up with people, that will be a light person who is the builder, the constructor of the design, which is more of an internal thing that a dark person created. And that's a harmonious union when it comes together. You understand what I'm talking about? And no one is looking at each other like one is doing less than the other. No, you're doing what it is that you love to do, that you like to do.